Buckets. That's the name of my boat. Buckets.
Buckets. What we get.
Not the only transfer we got from Florida. Keith Stone, too. Remember that.
Everybody who watches his show on a regular basis knows my love of the stretch four.
You know, we all make mistakes. He might have made one going to
It's
Tallahassee.
mercy if y'all don't know. Dribble to the left, cross over to the right. Hurricane to the game, many buckets for the night. Matt with the pick and roll, Melissa with the give and go. This Shelly, you hoodie girl dunking in the hole. Check the scoreboard, this what we fall for. Peep the gameplay, they want an encore. Yeah, overtime for another round. It's buckets after buckets, baby. You're out of time. It's buckets. What it is, homie? It's buckets. Woo! We get buckets. Yeah, baby. Buckets.
I have no shame.
I know. That's the problem.
You guys are awesome.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Buckets. I'm Matty Ice. He's Vish. She's Melissa. Melissa, how are we feeling tonight?
Good. More basketball portal news to talk about. I'm really excited. What's going on, Vish?
Mavs Thunders in 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Go, Luca.
We'll know in 3 hours. We'll know in 3 hours.
Let's
Maybe
go.
they can make a free throw.
Nate's in the
Let's
chat.
go.
Go Mavs, go. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. I just had work and practice today, so
Same
a little
hoodie on 2
tired.
shows in a row. I actually really like this hoodie. It's really bright, so I'm wearing it again. So don't hate. But speaking of hoodies, I guess we can talk about this now.
Oh, real quick, shout out to Bill.
Hi, Bill. Nice thumbnail. What's up, Daniel?
Danbury.
Max here at the start of the show. Good stuff. We were just discussing because next week is the 1-year anniversary of Buckets, May 24th. It was the first time all three of us appeared on the show together. So that's what we're counting as our anniversary. We're going to do a show that day. We don't know what time yet, but we're going to be doing a Hoodie Girl hoodie giveaway. So you want to be in the live chat next Friday for a chance to win the hoodie. All you have to literally do is be in the live chat when we give away, when we do the giveaway, and you have a chance to win. More info on the Buckets_Canes Twitter to come. But yes, let's go.
Let's go.
And our Mount Rushmore for tonight, MF Doom, what up? I'm looking to see what his weird
Yeah, I can't tell.
thumbnail is. Tonight's Mount Rushmore is going to be favorite men's Canes basketball games of all time. So start thinking
Excluding tournament.
excluding tournament. It has to be a regular season game.
Yeah, so no
Was that-
ACC
was that-
tournament.
Wait, was
Wait,
that
is
not
that really us? Wait,
go
put
back.
it
Let me
on
see.
again.
Pull it back up.
Oh my god,
Oh,
that's
no.
hilarious.
Wow, that's something.
That's from High School Musical.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
that's
I
hilarious.
gotta get a zoom in on this thing.
That Vish has way more hair in that.
Yeah, and that's not my beard. I think he just got like this part.
No, you're the guy with the fro.
No, I know. I think he just got this. It's literally like just like my eye, this area.
Oh, I don't
It's
know.
not even my beard. And I think the same thing with I don't know where he cut Matt off. I'm like zoomed all the way in now.
Oh, wait. Max is gonna send the photo.
If Doom sends it to, yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh my
Yo,
god.
I'm gonna put that as I should put that as the Buckets picture on Twitter for like the next week. That would be so funny.
Do you remember when I tried to change the pin tweet and she lost her fucking mind? She's gonna put that as instead of the Buckets logo.
In my defense, I created the account and I'm the one who posts on it like 90% of the time. So everything goes through me.
You're right. Sorry.
I agree with Max. Fire Melissa.
Should I go change the hoodie? I can put on another one.
No, you don't need to go change the hoodie.
I think Vish should change his jersey.
Why? Undefeated.
I don't think change. I think burn.
This is a jersey that we are undefeated in. We did not lose a game in these glorious yellow jerseys. So I don't know
You
what.
only wear them like one time.
Both programs won in it.
Oh, Kane.
You know, if I didn't see like the Miami, I would have thought that was an old jersey that you played like high school ball in, Vish, because it looks like it's like super aged looking. And
oh, the yellow, like it was
it
white,
used to
but it
be
got
white.
gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Darian Rogers is wearing the shorts. This is happening. This is happening.
She was wearing the shorts.
This is making a comeback.
Listen,
I mean,
shout out.
we have a player on, and she was talking about the jersey.
Jasmine hated it. Yeah. Shout out to Coach Cullop for posting like all of our recruiting gets like right away, because I'm like the updates are like to the second of when we get a recruit to commit. So love it. I like her activity on social media.
Yeah, and also shout out to Max for giving us inside scoops that then get stolen by Chris Stock off of his message board. So
call it out, Vish. Call it out.
I don't pull punches. Yeah, multiple times. One time you can excuse. Every time.
Shame.
Shame indeed. Shame indeed. But he is the only one. Where's Kane's Cat's Heat in the chat?
Max broke some news to us and then broke some news on some message boards, and then it was stolen.
Multiple times.
Yep.
Yeah, multiple times. He's also given me Long Beach State inside stuff too.
There's Long Beach State inside stuff.
Yeah.
We might have to get Max on the show at some point.
Max wants to be on the show. Max can be on the show.
He is a friend of the show.
Does he like Chick-fil-A? I don't even know. Have we brought this up?
That's a lot of M's at once, though. Matt, Max, Melissa.
You know what? I'm always the oddball, and I'm good with that.
Vish is holding it down for the V's.
Yeah, victory.
Vish Pars.
You can never recreate the magic of that moment.
That was after the show, right?
That was not even live. Yeah, that's not on tape. Otherwise, I'd have to recut the intro.
That would have had to be my intro.
No, I'm gonna have to recut it and do starring, and then you saying my name, like pull the audio out.
No, just like the clip where it says "My love for the stretch 4." That would have had to been my thing.
No, what I would do is I would just pull the audio out, and when my face is there.
Oh, but your comment is talking about how.
I would completely redo the intro. You're thinking of modification to the current. I'm talking about throwing it out and starting over.
I did try to beg coaches to come on the show via Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I was just like, if anybody wants to come on, you're welcome.
Yeah,
I've begun my list of games. I was doing some research.
So I think I'm going to do one from each of the coaches that I can remember.
Oh, I actually went and looked up the dates and everything and the score. Preparation. Keynes today thinks we should bring the orange jersey back. I agreed. The orange jerseys were amazing.
Yeah. No more yellow jerseys.
No. All right. We
don't need another one. We're undefeated in this. Why would we change it?
Are we talking men's or women's first tonight?
Let's go.
I think we should go women's first because
it's a big get.
A legit commitment and not just rumors. So.
Well, the men got a commitment to a high school one.
Oh, that's true. But no, let's talk women's first anyway. So Coach Cullop again literally rebuilt this team through the portal. Landed a grad student, Cameron Williams, out of Michigan. Hold on, let me pull up her stats. I have them somewhere. Here we go. So last year, she averaged 7.5 points per game, 4.6 rebounds per game, averaged about 18 minutes. I'm not sure why. So like her stats, like she averaged about the same the year before as well, as around 17 minutes, 7 points, whatever. Or her points per game went up a little bit. But for whatever reason, so her junior year, she started all of the games, but her senior year, she only started 16. So I don't know why that happened, but she still averaged the same amount of minutes. She's another big. She's 6'3". So we've rebuilt our front court just like that. Because now we've got Abise, Williams, and Marshall. So 6'3" adds a lot of height. Again, finding like highlights for women's basketball is impossible. But yeah.
Well, I mean, there are some of her because she's in the Big Ten, but
I actually watched them.
Yeah, no, this one's findable. This is not. Was it Wichita State highlights?
Yeah, Wichita State
I was trying to run down.
That one is tough.
No, but even I was trying to find stuff for Marshall from Notre Dame, and I had trouble.
You could have watched when we played them. Anyway, that damn Hidalgo
Vish, what do you
shit
think?
out of us.
I'm excited. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's another good guy. I think her and Marshall, that's their starting front court. There's any doubt about that. That's your 4 and 5, and yeah, no, we've managed to, I would say, at least in the front court, upgrade over what we had last year.
A lot of experience with Marshall and Williams coming in as
it's almost the opposite, right? It's more finished product.
Yeah.
Probably less upside, but actually know how to play basketball.
Yeah.
Versus, I think we had a lot of unrealized talent last year.
She shot 78% from the free throw line and 55% from the field. Not really a 3-point shooter. Didn't make it. I don't think she had any attempts from 3.
I think the thing that stuck out to me was she has really good soft touch around the rim. Has a nice little hook shot, or jump hook. I mean, also too, she's a pretty good passer too out of the post. That was another thing. I think that's a big deal when you have someone that's able to play make from the post position. That's a huge plus.
Is this another? This is
rebound.
Oh my god!
Am I the only one in this? Man, I'm getting. I don't know if this is roasted or honored. I can't.
No, Doom does this on all the shows. Like if
this
you watch,
one's better. This one's better than your previous work. I like this one.
He puts Max and Big Mac in all these crazy thumbnails. It's hilarious.
This one is better. I like this one better.
That's hilarious. That was such a good movie. That was such a stupid, funny, good movie.
But
you're using the term "good" very loosely.
One of the things I really like. One of the things I really like about
Martin Lawrence one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the things I like about Williams also is her experience. Like I know she's been in college for 4 years, but she played in 30 plus games sophomore year, junior year, and senior year. So she's been on the court.
Yeah, no, again, this is an upgrade in a maturity standpoint, game action standpoint, and I think we'll have a lot just smarter play. High IQ basket has arrived.
High IQ basket.
I would assume this was the recruit Jasmine sort of referred to when she was on the show last week when she couldn't say a name.
Yeah.
So I forgot who I was talking to on Twitter about this, about if I think if we need to add anyone else. If we don't, I don't think it's a problem. I think we have a lot. Like I think Coach Cullop did an amazing job adding from the portal. What do you think, Vish?
I think we can always use more because I mean I think to me the big question is, I mean we don't really know anything about Abise, even though she's a returning player.
Mm-hmm.
If we can't rely on her, we need another big. And
so
I don't know the
A
answer.
fourth big?
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know. You asked, what do you think? I don't know.
I think we're set at guard.
What's our well? I mean, it also depends on how quickly the freshmen acclimate, right?
Well, here, so you assume Haley Cavender starting at point guard, and you got Darian Rogers at the 2. You got Jasmine at the 3, and you got Marshall and Williams 4 and 5. You've got Hannah coming off the bench. You've got Lamaya when she's healthy. You've got the 3 freshmen. You've got Almone, who's an unknown, so basically another freshman, but she's also a big. And then Abise. So we have a lot of bodies for sure. But all things considered, where a couple months ago we had 2 players, 3 players. I mean, it's pretty impressive. And Cullop's pulling these players from power conferences. I mean, Abise is from a mid-major in Wichita State, but still they're known for hoops. So
well, this is where relationships matter. She's been in the Midwest forever. She recruited these kids out of high school. They probably wanted to go to a bigger. They probably wanted to play for her, but not play at that program.
Yeah.
and all of a sudden she's at an ACC school. So yeah, no, she probably more landed these kids back when she was trying to recruit them out of high school to Toledo than she did now, right? You maintain those relationships. It's the same thing we actually did with Charlie Moore. Coach L kept in touch with him through all of his little hops. He tried to recruit
And
him
Lynn
out of high
Kidd,
school.
too.
Yeah. So, I mean, just maintain those relationships matters in these moments. So, but
Yeah,
she has deep roots in the Midwest, and that's where all these kids are getting pulled from. It's not.
it was really nice to hear, like when we spoke with Jasmine last week about how like the relationships he's already kind of began with Coach Cullop and the things that she said to her to keep her in Miami, and then just how she's been able to recruit in the small time that she's been here. Obviously it's not just her. Obviously she kept Coach Fitz. She brought in some of her own staff. So I think it just kind of shows how hard the I think he DM'd it to us in the maxed out chat.
I'm on it. Relax.
Yeah. I mean, I think it shows how well she can recruit, how she can establish relationships, and she won a lot at Toledo. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I'm not expecting us to like win the ACC and win a national championship. It is a transition year with so many new players. But hey, AO is joining us from his show.
Nice.
They just did a show with him and Lexus did a show with Jazz.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, did they have this on that show?
There we go.
Oh my god. That is hilarious. Shout out to Teal. That's so funny.
That's awesome.
That's high quality work there. Anyway, if you look at the players that we got in the portal, it was 3 that are Midwest ties, and then the other one, Darian Rogers, got her assistant coach from Mississippi State. So this is all like we're leveraging personal relationships to put together a roster. Like Melissa said, we had 2 returning players. So,
but also the coaching staff she put together. She kept Coach Fitz, who's one of the best assistant coaches in the entire country, and that's just not my opinion. That's actually been stated by actual awards. Actual experts. She brought 2 of her coaches from Toledo, so she already has that relationship. And then she brought a former 11-year WNBA player from Mississippi State, who then brought one of her guards with her. That's quite the staff.
and who's a fan of the yellow jersey. So we've upgraded across the board now. So this is good
maybe
stuff.
that's all she had, and it was just the shorts. I don't know if she was wearing the jersey also.
Get on the revolution. We're gonna be wearing these in the Final Four, and you're gonna be like, "What are we doing?" I'm like, "We're undefeated in them."
Well, because me and Jasmine are on the bring back the orange jerseys bandwagon. I think Matt agrees with me.
That's fine. Yeah. You can all be wrong together. I'm fine being the only V on the show. When we get Max in there, it's going to be a conspiracy of M's. I'm good with that. Go with that.
Now you know how I feel because you guys gang up on me about Popeyes.
Turn around and look at the board and tell me who's getting ganged up on here. Thank God for DJ.
Well, no, it's just that person that comes on evens
only
it out.
One with sense.
I know.
Because the person who comes on evens it out. Because there's 2 of you and only 1 of me. So.
Well.
Matt wants to talk men's.
Well, actually, I would like to get Matt's if he's unfrozen.
Uh-oh, he froze.
With the smug look on his face.
That's a great screenshot right there. I had to say. That is a good screenshot.
It is indeed. All right. Well, while Matt sorts out whatever the hell's going on, I was going to ask him if he thought we need, because you asked me, if he thought we needed to do anything else on the women's front. But
so I think, last year, we tried to state what we thought our starting lineup was going to be, and we were completely wrong to start the season.
Oh, look who's back.
He unfroze.
Guess who's back?
There's a president WhatsApp for you too.
Oh, God. Let's see what it looks like.
This was a good 30 seconds of this.
But Vish, Did you agree with what I said the starting lineup is as like?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much locked in. I don't think there's any ambiguity there.
Yeah. It's a pretty tall lineup. Because Rogers is 5'11".
I think so. It'll be interesting to see what we do lineup wise, because we still don't know how ready Lamaya is going to be. That was a bad injury, pretty late in the season.
Yeah.
So if she's not ready, we probably need another wing actually, unless we're going to play. We could play smaller, like you said. Rogers is 5'11". We could play her some of the 3 and have the Cavenders in the backcourt. Which also like Harmon or an A Adams or something too. But all 3 of our high school recruits are perimeter players, so there's no help coming inside there.
And we don't know what Almon's gonna be.
True.
She's like 6'4", right, or something.
Yeah. We have bigs.
We have bigs. Almon didn't play last year, so she's kind of like she's a redshirt freshman coming in, but. That's another big. And I think Abis is 6 feet. Could you plug and play her at the 3?
The shooting wasn't really there, was it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Matt tried to find footage. We couldn't.
Yeah.
So we're reading our stats. We're reading stats. That was the one where you could find nothing. So we're reading the stats off of that.
You think like Lamaya could be the 2 or the 3. When she's healthy.
That's the big thing with her.
Yeah. Because I feel like before she got injured, she was coming in for Jasmine off the bench.
Yeah, don't forget about Jasmine. We have Jasmine.
Right?
God.
In all caps.
Way too many inside jokes on this show.
All I gotta do is check our Twitter.
Oh, God.
I literally wrote #portal and someone felt the need to remind me about Jasmine Roberts. I was like, I wasn't talking about returning players. I was talking about portal editions.
You literally wrote about returning players in the tweet. Just didn't read it carefully.
Sit on top of the returning players, but I was literally referring to the portal.
How could you forget about the person you interviewed last week?
Right?
Yeah, I can't believe you forgot Melissa. That's really
terrible. I'm saying. All right. Anything else for the women? But again, shout out to Cullop and her coaching staff, man. Because I was worried. And she's done a great job. Like, but like, and it's not even just like getting bodies out of the portal. Like, she's gotten proven people. Like Notre Dame, Marshall from Notre Dame played on the ACC champion team and went to the Sweet 16. Cameron Williams played in 30 plus games for the last 3 years at Michigan, another power conference. Like a beast coming from a mid-major. Darian Rogers bringing the Cavender twins back. Like her and her staff have done an amazing job at rebuilding this team, and then keeping Jasmine. And I mean, Lamaya's rehabbing, but she's amazing. Lamaya is a talent. When she's healthy, y'all are going to see. I was talking about it last year. She's going to be really, really good.
So I did look up Abis. So the good news is 42.9% on 3. The bad news, 3 of 7.
Yeah, she did.
So I don't think she's going to be out there gunning.
Yeah, maybe the occasional 3.
I mean, one every 4 games?
So we'll see. She's got 2 more years left, so we'll see.
Yeah. Yep,
she's a junior. Williams and Marshall are grad students, as is Rogers. So we only got 1 year of them. But
we're gonna lose Rogers, Jazz, both Cavenders.
We're gonna lose a lot. But I mean, listen, Cullop's proved she can recruit the portal. So, but that's the landscape of college basketball. It's the same thing with the men's team. So, Matt, you see your boy Jakai committed to Bryant today?
Yeah, two greats over there.
Oh God, I forgot Earl Timberlake is there.
Legends.
Oh man,
I saw that post and I started laughing because I immediately thought of Earl.
I didn't even make that connection. I was just like, "Yep, that makes sense. That's the level."
Good old Earl.
That's the level of people.
You know how I knew,
jamming into a rotation.
And the funny thing was that Jakai posted that, and then I saw Earl Timberlake commented below. He's like, "Let's go."
Hey, I got no hate for Jakai, man.
I've got no hate for Earl Timberlake. He was just over. I mean, it was a bad eval.
So, should we
He
talk
went,
about?
He went from there to Memphis, and then that didn't work either. Like, it's just some of these kids get misevaluated, get hyped up, and they're just not.
Yeah, well,
I
he
don't
was a
think he
guy
does.
that they were like, oh, he can do everything. And it's like, well, he can't really do any one thing very well.
He can do everything really badly.
It's not that. He's more.
He was just very average at every thing. But
do we want to talk about
Wait, who? Before we transition to men.
one of our last season women have not committed yet? Oh, like in the transfer portal? I thought
Who?
everyone did. Did I forget somebody?
I don't think so. Who? Moose, tell us who in the chat, because everyone's.
I think everyone did.
I'm pretty sure they
All
did.
three bigs.
Oh.
Who?
I know what he's talking about. Should I even say it after he wrote that in the chat?
Just say it.
Lachey Dwyer. Did she officially commit to St. John's? I know she was looking, and the rumors
It
were
was
there.
announced that she was going to St. John's.
Was it?
I thought so. Hold on. I unfollowed her on Buckets. I gotta find her again. What's her? Do you remember what her thing is?
SD loading. She's still got Miami all over her stuff.
Was it like an underscore?
Oh wait, no, there it is. Committed last ride. Oh no, that's wait, no. That's her retweet. That is her retweeting Julia. I don't think she's committed anywhere.
Oh, I thought it was. Hold on.
No, the last thing she's tweeted is a retweet of. There's two things. The last things she's retweeted are actually retweeting Hannah, coming back here, retweeting Julia to Louisville, and then retweeting something about.
No, her St. John stuff isn't on her Instagram anymore.
Huh.
Because she posted about it. So maybe she never signed it.
Friends at St. John said no.
Moose breaking news here on Buckets.
All right, so
because she posted about it and it's not there anymore. It's just her Miami stuff.
Would you?
What?
Boomerang?
Boomerang?
What?
You know what I'm talking about, Matt.
Bring it back.
That's what I was talking about.
Bring her back?
I know. I know your opinion. You don't need to state it.
I mean, I don't have an issue with her like Moose does, but honestly, you didn't want to be here, so peace.
I mean, she hasn't done any of the trolling stuff.
That's
I'm
true.
trying to think if she's
honestly, Julia is really the only one where I would be like, nah, bro.
Wait, so she was supposed to go to St. John's?
I thought she committed. It was on her Instagram. I unfollowed her. I did the
Why
whole.
Why is everyone like supposedly going to go to St. John's and then don't?
Hmm.
No, but she posted about it. I'm petty. I unfollow them as soon as they commit somewhere else.
Because they think they're going to live in Manhattan and then realize it's in Queens. I don't know.
So that's interesting. That's something to follow. Moose was
see.
breaking news.
I don't know. I don't have a problem with her, and I think she brings some defense that we could probably use. So I wouldn't have a problem with her coming back. We're talking about Lachey Dwyer. And yeah, what's up, Terrence?
What's up?
Brooklyn would be all right. I mean, what? You're in college, you want to be in Manhattan. But anyway.
I'm trying to see if I can find any news. They still have her listed as a Miami Hurricane on ESPN.
No, I mean her herself has her list. Like she's still got UM as her like in her jersey as her profile and stuff.
Yeah.
Look at Doom. You put that's like my face frozen, isn't it?
Good God.
Oh, what the?
That one I already have full screen because
Yeah, we have that one full screen
that
already.
one I snipped.
No, but did you see Chris? Chris Stock? Look, pull it up.
Wait, what happened?
Look, do you see Chris Stock on the side there?
Wait. Oh
Look,
my
like on this
god.
side.
The attention to detail is exquisite, man. Who knows?
It's so small, so if you
It's
just
so
look at it
good
for a
though.
second,
It's so
you
good. Although you gotta have him
Wow.
spying
That's-
on maxed out instead, because that's where
funny.
we have no sources, so we don't claim to break
He's-
news.
He's an artist.
They removed all the players that quit from app. Oh, so Lachey's not on our roster? That's a quick check.
Where is she going?
We'll see. She is not on the roster.
Man, drama that we didn't even know about.
Drama.
Interesting times. Also, the admin did like a copy paste to create a Cameron Williams profile because it has her listed at 5'11".
And she's no.
She's 6'3". Forgot to change the field. We've all been there.
All right.
I mean, I would say that the women pretty much landed on their feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, men, however.
Men still
then
have a
the-
ways to go.
Well, the men also, most of the ones that transferred did not, were not power conference caliber.
Yeah, all of our. I mean, obviously we have to see where Lachey ends up now, but like all of the women's transferred ended up at power conferences schools.
Mhm.
So, but like the men,
We got Bryant,
So-
Southern Miss.
we added another late high school commit. Divine, I can't pronounce his last name. Out of Texas. Apparently Baylor was going after him too. 3-star guard. So
Yeah, he saw Norchad acting a fool in Waco and was like, "Get me the hell out of here."
right.
Sick
And
of-
then still no news on Mitchell. Apparently he has a top 3.
and we're in it.
Miami, Auburn, and Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Um,
So random.
I mean, Miami, Alabama, or Ohio. I mean, come on. What do you think, Matt?
I mean,
That's what it is. I mean, it's
does
not,
Cincinnati have money like that?
it's not about. They are aren't they in the Big 12? Are they? Aren't
I don't-
they?
What are they in now? I don't know.
God damn it! It's hard to keep up with this. I'm pretty sure they're in the
What's-
Big 12, right? Yeah, they're in the Big 12.
No, they're in the AAC.
Is it new this year? They're in the Big 12.
Oh, they're joining the Big 12 this year. Yeah.
Are you sure? They have not been in the Big 12 for the last 2 years, I feel
Oh
like.
no, they've been in the Big. Oh, I didn't see the date. They've been in the Big 12 the last couple. Why did it come up as they're in the American Athletic Conference on Google? And then I had to scroll down for it to be like, oh, now they're in the Big 12.
So, anyway, larger
They
point
joined the Big
is
12 with Houston, UCF, and BYU.
so, but I think the larger point is it's not about how much money you have, it's how much you're willing to spend on this guy.
Yeah, that's true.
And they might be willing to spend more on a certain player than we are.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on what, like, it comes down to what he wants, right? I mean,
It's also look, we've gone heavy on the bigs. We all agree we need one more, but there's going to be a pretty hefty rotation there if we bring him in. So
Yeah,
because he's going
I
to
mean-
get more consistent playing. He very well might get more consistent playing time somewhere else.
yeah, I don't think it's
Yeah,
Auburn,
mean-
though. Auburn's
think-
pretty, like,
But I think he's a starter if he comes in.
That doesn't mean he's going to play 35 minutes though, and he might at Cincinnati.
Oh.
We're definitely rotating heavy between Kidd, Johnson, if he's in there. They're all getting,
Wait.
none of them are.
Isn't I just had like a is Cincinnati where is it Edgerrin James's son plays?
Oh, I don't know.
Isn't it?
Kind of random ass like.
Well, that's why
Anyway.
I was like, why do I know about like Cincinnati basketball?
They used to be really
Dizzle
good.
James.
Their historic program or something recently. I didn't see anything from Wooga's dad. I don't know.
He said one of the reasons Wooga transferred is because Coach L wasn't calling enough plays for him.
Oh, that bullshit I saw. I
Yeah.
just
Well,
ignored it.
it was he didn't call plays for him and they didn't put him in a position to like succeed type thing.
He was
right?
injured most of the year. What position to succeed?
No,
would you like to put him in?
no, I get.
He wasn't put in the right
Stonehill
role.
incident. Besides
Well,
the
he wasn't
Stonehill
put-
incident.
Well, so I get what he's saying. I think he's not good enough for what they're expecting his role to be here, and I think that'll be borne out wherever he goes. We tried to run offense through him, and he's not good enough for that. Like they're saying, like I now that you mentioned it, like I did recall reading that they're treating him more as a spot up shooter because that's what he is.
Yeah.
Like I'm just reality check, right? So
Well, whether it was the injuries throughout the year or whatnot, like he tried to put the ball on the floor and it just didn't work, right? Like he could do the little like 1-2 dribble, like mid-range pull-up. I don't think we saw it as much this year though.
well, he didn't have as
But he
much
just doesn't-
space because they weren't like collapsing on Wong and Miller to give him.
Yeah,
that.
exactly. But he just didn't look comfortable creating for himself, A good shooter, but definitely a guy that looked like he would have more success, scoring off ball and whatnot,
Oh yeah, I forgot. Moose shares my shared love of Chris Legs. So.
So where are we? What do you think percentage wise of confidence that Mitchell comes to Miami?
I think it'll be us or Auburn.
So 50-50?
Say like 35% chance he comes.
Because who was it that was like 100% that Cleveland was coming to Miami? Like you had no doubts. Was that you?
Yeah, I know. You could feel it. This one I'm less sure on. I don't know what he's looking for. We already addressed that position. Like we were discussing, and I think we all agreed, yes, we do need one more. But like that's a pretty crowded position to transfer into.
Not in our room. We got 2 guys for 2 positions.
2 guys that are right. We need depth. We agree with that. However, if you're a player coming in and you're looking for consistent minutes, there will be times, let's say he's here, where one of those 3 ends up playing 10 minutes because the other 2 are gelling together and playing well. And they end up on like that. That's the reality of it. So he's got to weigh his options. And there's certainly an opportunity for him to get a more consistent role at another school where they don't already have 2 starting caliber players at the positions he might play.
Well, then he's not going to go to Auburn because don't they have like
Bruce Pearl works in mysterious ways.
the article? Was it Bill posted an article under a tweet about it? How Auburn, Cincinnati, and Miami were like in the running, and then the article was like, "Oh, he's more likely to go to Cincinnati because Auburn has this guy at the 4 or whatever, and then Miami has Norchad Omier." And I'm just like, Norchad committed to Baylor. Where are you getting this information from?
Yeah, he's
all about the car.
That's a factor. No, but we already shut out a bunch of money to Lynn Kid. Like, what is our big man budget right now for NIL? Like, are we really going to spend a similar amount to now get him?
Yeah, well, if we want to get him, it's going to be more than what we spent on anyone else.
Should we talk about the other guy that just took a visit?
Matt.
I'll be honest with you, I did not watch any film on it.
You don't have Idaho State in your viewing. I should have put that on
No.
instead of the Battle of Montana. You could have watched it.
So how is this name pronounced? Kyrie Huey?
I don't know. Mac should know.
Yeah, I don't know. He likes
Max,
he likes
can you
mac
put
and
a
cheese.
can you put a phonetic pronunciation in the chat, please?
Yeah.
He's 6'9" junior from Idaho State. Averaged, let's see, 11.3 points per game, 58.7 from the field, 5.8 rebounds, in about 27 minutes.
This
per
is probably more,
depth.
yeah, but this is probably more in line with what we're looking at versus another starting caliber. Oh, there it is.
So you think
there it is. That is appropriate.
So you think Brandon Johnson is going to start?
I think if this Idaho State kid is the other big coming in, yes.
What if we get Mitchell?
No, then Mitchell start.
Yeah, Mitchell starts.
It's pronounced Chewy. Okay, so Kyrie Huey.
Oh,
there we go.
Ironically, he wore number 15 at Idaho State.
What are you kidding?
Anyway.
He can hopefully, if he comes to Miami, can bring some prestige back to the number.
Or he'll betray us.
Well, he'll be a senior next year, so it'll be his last year anyway.
I mean,
Well,
could betray us in other ways. You never know.
can yell mac and cheese instead of baby food when he plays.
Apparently, he loves mac and cheese. So.
Oh man, get him on the squad then.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. There's going to be one way or another front court player.
Yeah, I think Coach L's made it a mission to get bigger guys.
Well,
and they don't have to be 7 feet.
It's more just experience depth, like guys that have played basketball, like after suffering through Nwoko last year, and then also having to play Joe Bay minutes. It's like, no. It took a lot of work, and Coach L talks about this in his press conferences in like the back half of the year. The amount of extra work he was having to put in with Nwoko to get him onto the court. There's no way that doesn't detract from the rest of the team when you have to do that. It was necessary because we had no depth, but I think he's trying to avoid having that issue.
His last game as an Idaho State Bengal was a loss to Montana. Matt would appreciate that.
I mean, he was JUCO or so. It was JUCO in Georgia or something, right?
Yeah, he only had 1 year at Idaho State.
So he went from Georgia to Idaho and now to potentially Miami.
But he's from he's from Georgia. Yeah, 6'9", 220.
Yeah, and I think we're just looking for guys who already kind of know how to play basketball because we went the opposite direction last year. And again, you're seeing I think we did the worst of we did raw / untalented.
Yeah.
And we saw that. I mean, untalented's harsh, just not up to the ACC standard, and you're kind of seeing that with where they're transferring to. And you can have a few of those guys because again, like we got Harlan Beverly was really good here, and he ended up at Wichita State. It's not like they're not capable of playing. It's just that when you have all of your players are that's how you end up.
Harlan would have gotten a lot of minutes if he had stayed.
But it ultimately wouldn't have helped.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying he would have gotten a ton
of
minutes. With all the injuries, he probably would have ended up in the starting lineup. But
yeah, but ultimately, like that's the glue guys you need off the bench giving you like 10 minutes. And when you have all of your rotation players end up being that because of injuries, you're going to stink.
Yeah.
I think he'll be in the portal again next year.
Next favor heir.
I think Nwoko is not a good basketball player.
And this is what I was saying. I was having this conversation on Twitter earlier today. Just because you're tall doesn't mean you're automatically good at basketball. Like a lot of people are so focused on like, oh, we need height, let's get 7-footers, blah blah blah. Just because you're super tall doesn't mean you're like then you're just taking up space and you're not doing crap. Norchad was smaller center, but he still did stuff. Like he was useful besides fouling
Well,
out.
yeah, just
Like
because you add size doesn't just mean
yeah,
like, oh, we're going to be suddenly better at rebounding and we're still going to be able to create space to create
yeah,
mismatches with our offense. Like, you know,
Nwoko's at Mississippi State,
yeah. Like
and then
I'd rather take a 6'8", 6'9" guy who can hoop over a 7-footer who is like not coordinated and doesn't know how to box out or shoot.
and I do think putting a premium, and you can see where we're going. We're going for guys that have logged a lot of minutes. And we're doing again. It might be even a little bit of an overreaction, but after last year's ACC G League team we rolled out there, I think it was. I think Coach L. I mean, that's as frustrated as we've seen him since he's been here. Like that stuff against Virginia, we just sat on the bench and wouldn't even coach. Like you never see stuff like that from him. We've had some bad teams too.
yeah.
Keith Stone was starting, man. We had bad teams, but I think this team probably frustrated him more than any other one.
I mean, they weren't
Well,
good. And also coming off a Final Four season, like that just
well, I think it was more. I think that's certainly part of it. I think it's outside of Nigel, I think a lot of our veteran players. I mean, Wooga's dad's comments allude to some of this. Kind of were in it for themselves and not really showing the leadership that he expected.
then what do you think of Matthew Cleveland? Because he stayed.
Yeah, I think we talked about him a lot during the year that he needed to step up more into a leadership role and wasn't comfortable doing that because you have all these players off a Final Four team.
Yeah.
But Norchad was definitely gunning for himself. If you watch his defensive effort last year, it was pathetic, to be honest. And he was running his numbers off his points and rebounds. He was getting his double doubles, but and the frustrating thing is there were times, and we all enjoyed the hell out of this game, but when he really wanted to play defense, he was much better at it. Like when he went at PJ Hall and like waved at him and all that stuff, that's because he was pissed off and wanted to.
That's before the season went downhill.
Well, no, he also did it against Baycott. When it was a big time game and he wanted to show up, he would show up and compete. But then other times, I mean, Matt and I watched it in the ACC tournament. He was not trying on defense.
He got played off the court.
Was dominant. We had to put Matthew Cleveland on a 7-footer because he couldn't guard him. And so I think that type of stuff, and you guys,
because Nwoko couldn't either.
I mean, Nwoko, good God, I cannot believe that was still.
That's the example of just because you're tall doesn't mean you can play basketball.
I mean, that was an amazing stat line because Matt had to deal with my complaining, but I was like, I cannot believe this guy's still in the game. And he played like this long extended stretch. He had 0 points, 0 shots, had 0 rebounds, 0 assists. I'm like, how can you even stand on the court that long and not have
Tony
the ball
Snell special?
Like, how's the ball not hit you? But I think we're seeing this in micro bursts during games, right? He's seeing in practice, and he has no depth. What's he going to do? Bench Norchad? No. So it's like, and I think the same move Wogo was like, how come they're not running plays for me? I think Nigel was the only one that was actually trying to play team ball. And then Matthew Cleveland, I don't think really stepped up into his role. He was out of position. But I mean, that was something Matt and I especially talked a lot.
He looked uncomfortable.
But that's something that Matt and I know for sure, and I think Melissa, you were on the same page with us, talked about a lot, was hey, you're one of the best players on this team. You got to step up and lead it. And I think he felt like it was someone else's team and he was interloping.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you look at the other starters, they're all off the Final Four team. And that's him. But then you take that's half the team. The other half of the team is a bunch of dudes that are raw, that don't know how to play, that do incredibly frustrating, idiotic things. And I think for that combination, Coach L just had it. I don't know if this is an overreaction though or not, but we've certainly leaned heavily into all these kids we brought in have a lot of mileage on them in college. And in theory, that should mitigate some of what we saw last year.
Yeah, we brought in, and we didn't even mention, bringing in Jalen Blackman too. So
Yeah, no, again, played a lot, right?
Yeah.
I
I
think he's
mean, when
kind
you
of
look at teams that have tournament success, obviously UConn's dominated the past 2 seasons, postseasons. But the teams that make it far, it's guys that have been playing college basketball for like 3, 4, 5 years.
Well, you look at
Um,
our Final Four run, and the guys that led us in our Final Four run were guys that have been in college basketball for at least 3 or 4 years.
yeah,
So, and Jordan Miller was in his 5th year. So,
yeah. I think Wogo was the youngest starter, and he was a sophomore.
wasn't Sam the first run? Like, wasn't it was like his 5th or 6th year, right?
Yeah, he came
Because
back.
he didn't he get like 2 masters while he was here or something?
Yeah.
well, you look at it. Charlie Moore was like in his like 3rd school, had been like 5 years or something. Sam
was-
had been there a while.
Yeah.
Yes,
So.
because Charlie played for DePaul, Cal, Kansas, us, and then was there another one?
There might have been.
There might have been one more. Dang, that's gonna bug me now.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
DePaul, Kansas, Cal, us.
And actually, now that you think about it, just going back to the point I was making earlier, I think in particular is probably disappointed in Norchad not showing more leadership. When he remember towards the end of the season, he was talking about Norchad and Nigel. He talked about how Nigel's really stepped up and been a leader, but it's hard for him to do that because he's injured, and when you're not healthy, it's hard to lead. And then he said that bizarre thing about how Norchad can't really speak English, so it's hard for him to lead. And
Yeah.
look, I've been making fun of Norchad going to Waco and like, what am I doing here? Norchad speaks very good English. So I think it was kind of throwing shade at him for not being a leader on the team.
Matt, you were right. He played at Cal in 2016, 2017, Kansas 2018, 2019, and then DePaul for 2 years, and then Miami.
Okay.
For some
I
reason,
thought there was. I know. I thought there was one more, but
Yeah,
you always
so
think it's more, right? Like,
yeah. No,
Well,
but
I mean, he was at Kansas for a year. He played 1 game. So,
oh damn.
yeah, but I think in particular, Coach expected Norchad to step up and kind of be more of a leader than he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that comment about how his
No,
English
sorry,
isn't good enough to be a leader is ridiculous.
the one was games started, but no, he played 35 games at Kansas, but he only started 1 game. I misread the stat. Sorry.
It's all good.
But he thrived at Miami.
Yeah, but I think also, he transferred in. The rest of that roster was fairly stable that year. This is going to be hard when you have all these new players trying to get them to acclimate.
Both teams are going to have to do that, the men and the women. Both, but this is going to be what the Porter era is like. They've made it very easy for kids to go wherever. It's free agency.
Yeah, we got to figure. I mean, got to incorporate Jaleel too, because
Yeah,
he's probably the best player on the team. So,
but I still think Nigel is going to be the most valuable player.
I mean, Nigel's going to lead the team.
Exactly.
That's what he does.
Yep.
And that's what Jasmine's going to do for us for the women.
Yeah, and I mean there is some familiarity there because the Cavenders were gone for a year, but they're back now. So
Yeah.
at least they played together.
God, the free throw shooting is going to be so much better. Hallelujah.
Luka just missed the free throw.
One of the most frustrating things, because the only thing I had to look forward to was the women's team because the men were so bad and that we got snubbed from the tournament. But every time we would go to the line, man, it is so bad. It was so bad. I'm so excited to have Haley Cavender back because she's basically automatic.
Oh yeah.
Should we get into our Mount Rushmore, or do we have anything else we want to discuss?
Well, before we do that, just quickly to remind everyone, next week on Friday, it's our 1-year anniversary show of all 3 of us appearing together. We did do shows where there were two of us, but That was the
first
time,
show that all three of us did together.
May,
Because Matt
May,
was
May
like
24th.
getting married. So
May 24th was our first combined show. So we will be doing a show next Friday.
and there
Time
will
to
be a
determined.
giveaway.
However, everyone that comments in the chat during that show, at the end of the show, we will put everyone's name in a spinner, spin it, and the winner wins a hoodie girl hoodie.
You have to be in the chat when we announce the winner. Do not come on right at the start, type something, and then leave. When we announce it, you need to be in the chat to claim it. Otherwise, we spin it again.
Are we sure about that?
Yes. Because then people can just come in here, say hello, and leave. I want them to watch the show.
I'm not. Let's discuss that because I think we're gonna have to talk to them offline anyway, get address information and shit. So I don't know that. My Twitter comment isn't working. What the hell? And then we spin it again. Like I don't want to deal with that.
All right. Just show up on the chat on Friday and you'll be eligible to win a hoodie girl hoodie. I'm thinking it's probably going to be the Larinaga Meyer one because it would make the most sense for it to be the Hoops hoodie, right?
Sure, they're all Hoops hoodies in a way.
But you'll get to pick. You'll get to pick which hoodie you want of the four. And if you go to aboutthefans.com, you can look at the four. This is one of them. So definitely, we'll announce a time on our Twitter, buckets_canes. But yeah, next Friday.
Yeah, working on logistics, but that show will be happening.
Yes.
There we go.
What? All right. Tonight's Mount Rushmore is our favorite men's basketball games in the history of the program. Regular season games. It can't be any tournament games. So that's what tonight's Mount Rushmore is going to be. Matt wanted to do cuisines, but I said no. I vetoed that.
She used her dictatorial powers again.
I didn't know we still use the word cuisine.
The hell are you talking about?
Who uses the word cuisine? I
don't know, man. I saw it on Reddit.
People that speak English? What are we talking about?
I don't know, man.
All
I
right.
don't know why you guys are so offended by it. Shit.
Matt, do you want to go first?
I was not offended by the use of cuisine.
Are we doing
all.
repeats or no repeats?
No repeats. I'm gonna go on the record.
I only have 4, so
I was not offended by the word cuisine.
No, I was just making fun of it. I have a list of 7, so hopefully those don't.
I was literally thinking of this at practice, so
I
looked up the dates. Like I have the dates and the score of the games.
Oh wow, yeah, you did way more than me.
So I did no research, and what I'm going to do is my typical wing it, except I'm going to pick one from each of the 4 coaches. So one from Coach Ham, one from Perry Clark, which is going to be tough, one from Frank Haith, and one from Coach L.
I have a few from L and a few from Haith.
And I should be winging it.
I'm going to go first because I want to take one that everyone would pick.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Duke 2013 game?
January 23rd, 2013. That's obviously on everybody's list.
Yeah, so I'm going to take that one.
I have no list, so that's an incorrect statement.
There we go. That's the oldest one that I'm going to have.
Oh, well, I'm in
because it was hard to think of games.
I'm crossing that one out. I was at that game.
It was hard to think of games outside of the last, obviously not last season, but the 2 seasons, after the other 2 seasons. But I'm gonna go with that one from 2013. Durant Scott, absolute clamp job. Oh God!
Look, man. Look, no one told his ass to go to Waco. All right, man.
What's up, Crip? Shout out to my guy, Crip.
By the way, do you remember this before that Duke game? So that was. Remember, Reggie Johnson was injured, and that was the first game he was back for.
Yeah. We didn't even know he was going to play till.
This is the thing. This is the thing, right? So they did this. So this game was on ESPN. Obviously, Dick Vitale called it. So they did this behind-the-scenes thing, where they recorded him meeting with Coach L before the game, and Coach L doing that weird thing he does in that vertical thing that hangs him upside down and all this stuff. And Coach L tells him that Reggie Johnson's going to play. This is way before the game. No, but they only aired this after the game. It was like a segment for SportsCenter after the game. And Dick Vitale, God love him, it's like, oh my God, that's huge news. Can I report it? And Coach L's like, no. And I'm like, no one gives a shit if we're not this is, you gotta keep in mind the level our basketball program was at this point. And I'm like, no one gives a shit if Reggie Johnson is playing. He was like,
It was the number one team in the country, Duke, coming in to play us. We had just entered the rankings. We were 25.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
And we won 90-63.
Right, but like I thought it was hilarious at the time. It still kind of is today that first Dick Vitale totally like, oh my God, Reggie Johnson's playing like anyone outside of like Miami even knows who Reggie Johnson is. And he wants to like go out on ESPN and break into live coverage to say this. And Coach L blocks him from doing it. I'm just yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
Anyway.
go second. I'm gonna go second.
Memories.
My first one, I'm gonna take the 2022 game at Virginia Tech when Charlie Moore hit a buzzer beater to win it.
That was on my list.
You know what I was doing during that?
What?
It's on YouTube somewhere because we were doing Sixth Ring. We used to do it on Wednesdays. And
were you live show?
We were live, and Jazz was in front of me on the feed, like by us. You can see this. This is on YouTube somewhere. But yeah, we were both like watching the game, and he banked it in. That was yeah. I was doing a show. We used to do Sixth Ring on Wednesdays instead of on Mondays.
So yep, Charlie Moore buzzer beater is my first one at Virginia Tech.
All right. For me, I mean, I could pick. Like I said, I'm gonna pick one from each of the coaches. I can't imagine.
I would pick your Larinaga one first before Matt and I take it.
You know what? I don't have a list.
There was another coach before Larinaga.
So anyway, you know what? I am a gambling man, and I don't have a list anyway, and I will wing it. So I'm gonna go chronologically. So I don't have the exact date, but this was definitely this would be the 98-99 season. It was in the spring of 99. This is Coach Hamilton. So at this point, this was going into stores and beating UConn, who I think lost 2 games that entire year. This is back when kids stayed in college. So they had a super team and Duke had a super team.
Was this the one where we scored like 5 points in 3 seconds?
No, that team sucked. That team was terrible.
But we won that game because was it Darius Rice who scored 5 points in 3 seconds?
He scored like 43 points in that game. But this one was UConn won the championship that year. They only lost 2 games all year or something like that. That was the only home loss they had. And we were still coming up as a program. We had barely made the tournament, like off the bubble the previous year, and lost to UCI in the first round. And there was no way we were going to go into UConn and win that game. And we went in there and beat them. And it's still shocking. Back then they had super teams because no one graduated. Like no one left early. So them and Duke were like circling. They ended up playing in the finals. That's your classic game. UConn won by 2. But you look at those rosters, like NBA rosters. Richard Hamilton was their best player. But they had like NBA players coming off the bench and stuff because everyone stayed for 3 or 4 years. It was before like everyone started going straight from high school. And Duke also, it was full of NBA players, and I still can't believe we won that game. We ended up with a 2 seed, and then Brian Cardinal bounced our ass out in the second round. But
anyway. All right, Matt, what's your second one? Your first one
was
2013.
I thought of one that's a little older because I was going like all 2022 and Final Four or Elite Eight and Final Four.
But she stole yours, so you have to go with something else.
No, I'm gonna actually match her because she mentioned a half-court buzzer beater. I'm gonna go with Jaquan Newton's half-court buzzer beater.
I didn't know which one to do first.
Against UNC.
That wasn't half-court. That was like 3/4 court.
That game was such an emotional roller coaster because we let Barry shoot a wide-open 3 to tie it.
Yeah.
And then Jaquan Newton heaved it from half court where he still could have taken like another 2 dribbles.
It was 3/4 court. It wasn't even half court. He was like all the way to the
He could have taken 2 more dribbles. There was plenty of time left on the clock.
He was in range.
So UNC 2018.
That game was nuts too.
UNC was ranked like 9th or 10th or something too.
They were ranked 9th. I told you I have it written down.
That game, like I forget, like how many points did Abuko Zundu have in the first half? Like 20. He like went off and was just dominating that game. We had this huge lead and we blew it, like you said, Melissa. We didn't cover Barry. They were up 3 and just had to like not give up a 3.
I was watching that game at home by myself, screaming at my TV when Barry hit that 3.
And we had built such a big lead too and blew it. And I'm like, we're gonna hang on, just don't let them shoot a 3. And then he does, but then Quan ended it.
And then I thought DeJuan Hernandez got injured in the pile because he came up limping.
Well, that's fucking Bruce Brown hopping along on one leg and jumping in the pile.
Lonnie Walker like tackled him to the ground.
That's a classic moment. Bruce Brown in the brace, which Matt knows how uncomfortable it is to walk in. He got his ass in there.
Shit.
That's
All
a
right.
great one.
My next one, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna go with a 2013 game. I'm gonna go when we beat UNC at home, where LeBron and D Wade were in the building, and Kenny Kaji had that awesome dunk from the pass from Shane off the backboard.
This is the off the backboard one.
February 9th, 2013. We won 87-61.
Is that the dunk in the picture that I got you?
You want me to go get it?
With you in the background in it? With you and Nate in the background?
Oh, hold on. Let me get it. So Vish got me a signed Kenny Kaji photo off eBay for my birthday. And oddly enough, because of where I had season tickets back then, I sat in general admission. So you can't tell it's me because it's blurred, but I'm in the picture. Hold on, let me go get it.
Okay, to be real, look, we keep it real on the show. We're able to locate her because Nate is African American. He's popped out with the you could see him, and then we saw he's blurry too, but you're like, that's definitely Nate.
And then due to the contrast with Melissa right next to him.
Then there's the first there was the pale ghost next to him, and you know that
I should take it out of the frame.
It's still in the frame.
But
okay, that's not the same dunk then.
Oh yeah, I see you.
Wait, hold on. You're not gonna be able to see anyway, but we can still make it bigger. So Melissa is to Kenny Kaji's right arm. You see where Duran Scott is in the background? She's like in the crowd above.
You can't.
You can see Duran Scott there.
hold on.
He's on the court.
No, but like
You're not gonna be able to pick her out even if you're holding the picture.
That's Nate right there in the white.
oh,
See
I
the
can see it
picture?
now. Yeah,
That's
now
Nate in the white. I'm right there next to him. I mean, you can't tell it's me, but I know it's me.
But you know.
Because you can see Nate. So Vish got me this signed photo, and I was like, Vish, I'm actually in the background. But no, this isn't the dunk because this is when they played Duke. So this must.
Yeah, no,
this
that's
is when we blew them out, 90-63. Okay, you can take me out.
Well,
But isn't this cool? Vish got me this for my birthday.
awesome.
I'm actually gonna take it out of this frame and put it in a smaller frame so that I can hang it up and it'll take up less space. But very cool, and it's signed. You got Julian's right there, and you got Duran there, and Shane's over there. Good stuff. I actually meant to show this on the show, and I forgot. I'll put that right there. So yeah, that UNC game will be my number 2 because I'm afraid someone else is going to take that. Because a few of the other ones I have are like ones that you guys aren't going to pick because they're more sentimental to me than good games. All right, Vish, what's your second?
So we already talked about this. Since I'm doing one from each coach, I honestly only one. Actually, I could have picked from a couple of UConn games, but I will go with the Darius Rice. Stole the inbounds pass and hit the game win. I mean,
who was that against? That also against UConn?
Yeah, that was also against UConn.
That was at UConn or at home?
That was at home. I was a student. I was in the student section.
What year?
That would have been. That's my senior year, 2003.
So Vish's first 2 are UConn games.
I know, but I mean, Perry Clark did not have very many good memories. That was okay. So this is nuts, right? Because as Melissa alluded to earlier, we're down 4, and instead of shooting a quick 3, we spent all this time driving and laid the ball in, so the game should have been over.
If there's like 3 seconds left.
Yeah, they rushed the inbounds pass. We stole it and hit a 3. But here's the thing. So, one, if you look at the replay, the inbounds pass was illegal. Their guy stepped on the court to throw it. So they should just kill the play. It should have been our ball on a turnover. Second, we hit the 3. There's still time left. There were cheerleaders. My roommate
Everybody
was on the court.
rushes the court.
My roommate was on the court. I was like, where the fuck is this guy? He's out on the court. Everyone's on the court. There's cheerleaders, bench players.
It was
don't
such
stop.
a disaster.
They
They
don't-
didn't stop the game.
they don't
just
stop
were
the
like,
game.
okay, final.
Yeah, no, that's not what happened. Not only do they go because there's still time on the clock, so they don't clear the court. They actually UConn inbounds the ball, weaves through some cheerleaders, and throws it up and misses. And then they just
Game ends.
sure that counts. There's like 400 people on the court, and that's how the game ended. It's bad shit. That would never happen today. They would cut. First of all, they'd stop the game. They're like review how much time's on the clock for 10 minutes and add 0.1 seconds. But like, how that any of that allowed this did? He stepped on the court and threw it in illegally. And then their last shot, there was at least 50 people in the court jumping up and down, celebrating, cheerleaders throwing pom-poms. Like, it was like the Stanford band or the Cal band on the field type of stuff. And I still don't know how they don't clear the court. Karan Butler was in the crowd, by the way, because he was on the Heat at the time for that game.
All right, Matt. What's your third? Matt, so far is Duke 2013 at UNC 2018.
I know. I'm proud of myself. I've gotten a little diversity in when I'm picking these from, but I'm gonna go with one from the Elite Eight year. It was a Syracuse game. We were down by 20, I think, at halftime. It was like 18-20 points. Ended up coming back and winning. Jordan Miller had like 25 and 12 or 25 and 13. Joe Girard had like 6 or 7 threes in the first half. I got to pick a game when we beat Syracuse, who public enemy number 1 is.
Was that at Syracuse or at home?
I think that one was at home, I want to say. That one was at home. Because I remember, that one was at home.
My next game is also from the 2013 year when we beat Clemson to our final home game of the season, and we got to cut down the nets, winning the ACC for the first time the regular season. I was there. I have pictures of all the guys from the back because I was on the opposite side.
We've shown those pictures on the show.
Yes. So I'm gonna pick that one. That was March 9th, 2013. We beat Clemson 64-49. So I got at Virginia Tech versus UNC and versus Clemson. Matt's taking 2 of mine.
All right, so
you guys won't take my 4th one, so I'm not concerned about it.
well, I unless it's from the Frank Haith era, then
Quickly searches Kenny Kaji
It's
career
from
high.
the Frank Haith era, but I don't think you're gonna pick it because it's.
I don't think so either. Because
nothing exciting happened, but it was exciting for me. I should have. You know what I should have done? I should have picked the UNC game I got kicked out of, but I'm not going to.
did we win that game?
No, we lost.
So you don't want to pick that.
No, I'm gonna pick a win. But it's fine. All right.
Speaking of wins, all right. So this is a game no one will remember, but 2006 against Florida State, beat them in Tallahassee. Game went to overtime. And I remember a few things from that game. Robert Height made a bunch of threes. I don't know what the numbers. I don't have in front of me.
Him.
And then at the end of the game, I think it was like tied or it was very close. We ran typical Haith fashion, the worst offensive set.
He didn't run offensive sets.
Yeah, that too. And the ball gets stuck, and Guillermo Diaz, back before people did this, just pulled up from like the logo and hits a 3 at like the shot clock buzzer with like 30 seconds. I was like, oh, I guess we won now. Anyway, anytime you beat Florida State, it's good. I had to pick a Frank Haith game. There aren't that many.
So you got 2 UConn games and a Florida State game.
Yes.
Me and Matt went more ACC.
Well, I've been working chronologically through. That was an ACC game. That was 2 years after we joined the ACC.
All right, Matt, what's your 4th? You got Duke 2013, UNC 2018, and Syracuse during the Elite Eight year.
So can I say I'll wait to say my honorable mention because there's 2 I was debating between.
Yeah. Wait till
I'm going to go with, because this was one of my favorite seasons to watch, 2 guys that, I'll go with this one. 2 guys that have had pretty good success in the NBA from Miami. I'm gonna go with the Louisville game from 2018, the one that went to OT. Lonnie Walker had like 25 points in that one.
Nice.
I think it was. I can't remember if it was home or not. But yeah, no, that was a good one.
You went all ACC.
Oh, yeah, I went all ACC.
I mean, you have to go back to 2003 or something to get a Big East game, maybe 4. So
yeah, there was no way I was gonna.
So
Yeah,
my fourth is from the Frank Haith era, March 5th, 2008. We beat BC 74-61. It was my last game as a student.
Yeah, that's definitely one of us would have picked.
After they let us go on the court and take pictures, and then Frank Haith gave us a tour of the facilities after. I found those photos, by the way, which is exciting.
Texas assistant coach Frank Haith.
Yeah, but so yeah, that I saved that for last because like no one's gonna pick that. It's a random game, but it was my last game as a student, and my sophomore, junior, and senior year, I basically went to all of the home games. I maybe missed like 2 because I even drove down during winter break to go to the games during winter break. Freshman year, I didn't make as many because of other circumstances, but yeah, that was my last game as a student. I remember leaving and just like standing at the top of the steps from the student section and just kind of like taking it all in before I walked out. It was good, but then we got to go he showed us all the facilities, which was fun. So, and we got gifts. Which, if you go back to the box of crap, I read a card from Frank Haith. So, yeah. So that's my fourth.
I had such a different experience because my first 3 years, I think 2 years. And then half of the third year, we're at Miami Arena. Get on the Metro Rail, go to the empty arena. No one was there.
I mean, the arena was empty for us too, but it was a good time.
Yeah, different experience.
Honorable mention to the UNC game that year when I got kicked out, but that's a loss, so it doesn't count.
All right, my last one is from the 2014-15 season. When the boys went into Gainesville. Angel Rodriguez hit a shot at the end of the game.
That was a good game. I was at work during that game, so I was just following the game cast.
And I'm like, our new Puerto Rican point guard just walked into Gainesville and dropped the bomb on their face to win the game. Man, this is good life.
So amazing. I forgot about that.
That made me so happy. First of all, obviously we hate Florida, but I don't know. I was very happy our point guard was Puerto Rican too. I was like, we just went up there and told those all life matters motherfuckers to go fuck off and took that win. I was very, very happy with myself after that one. That was a fun one.
That was a good game. So, all right, Matt, what's your honorable mention?
Oh, I was trying to remember the year. It was it was one that I thought of when we were talking. It was either like 2016, 2017 when we played Virginia and they were ranked like 3rd. And we beat them. Do you remember that? I just remember it being like a close game, like all game. No? On my own? No.
Let me do some. So you're saying
it was one I thought of like while we were sitting here. I was like, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong year.
See.
Because this
was at home or on the road.
It's tough for me since I don't go to the games to remember if it was home or
away.
Was
it in overtime?
No, it wasn't overtime.
Okay, so it's probably not this one. Hold on.
I just remember. I think because Davon had like a pretty big game. He had like
this. I think this is it. Hold on, let me pull the box. Yeah, Davon had 21. Sheldon had 11.
Yeah,
does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Ivan Cruz Uceda.
Yeah, Ivan Cruz Uceda. He had didn't he have like 20 or something or 30?
No, he only had 5. But I just thought Davon. No, it was Sheldon and Davon had 21. Sheldon had 11.
Yeah, Davon. I knew Davon went off because he had. Yeah.
I mean, it's Virginia. We only scored 64 points, so there aren't going to be a lot of big numbers.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But it was February 22nd, 2016. They were ranked 3rd.
Yeah.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Was it
on
here or
that
was
team.
it? Yeah,
was
that's
here.
why. Fucking Malcolm Brogdon. That's why.
We were
hated him
ranked.
so
we were
much.
ranked 12th. God, that team was good. That Villanova team was just a fucking beast, though. That was one of those. That was like the UConn game, like in the Final Four. It's like, come on, we can do this. Then like halfway through, you're like, you know what? Sometimes our team's just better than you. I remember because we hit like a couple of threes at the end of the half of that Villanova game and cut to like 6. I remember I called my brother at halftime like, does Villanova always shoot like this? Because if they don't, we can win this game. But if this is how they shoot, then like we're screwed because they're making everything. And they shot that way all the way to cutting the nets down in the championship game. So that answered my question. But yeah, sometimes
I have,
just running.
I have one more on my list. I have one more on my list that wasn't said because Matt took the Duke one and the UNC game. But the other one, well, I had 7, so it worked out well. The other one on my list is the OT win against Maryland in the 04-05 season because that was the first Canes game I ever went to. Canes basketball game I ever went to.
That's a good one. That was also a Guillermo Diaz joint, I believe.
That was a Guillermo Diaz like masterclass.
Him, Robert Height, Anthony Harris. We had the 3-guard lineup rolling.
Yep. But yeah, that was my first game I went to as a student.
God, I don't even know what my first game was. Some random whatever my brother and I and our friends went to my freshman year against some like Charleston Southern, whoever was coming into my area to play us. It wasn't a good team.
My first game that I saw.
I hadn't been to a bunch of basketball games that year just because I had some other stuff going on. But it was one weekend where I actually stayed on campus for the weekend instead of going up to my mom's because of Sports Fest. And so if you went to a basketball game, you got points for your residential college. So that was the game I went to, and it was a really good game.
Matt, what was your?
It was when we played. It was when we played because they played here. We played like in a little like it was like a 14 tournament or something at Cal State Fullerton. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was the year after the 2013 season.
The year the down
we
year.
Played, yeah, we played Cal State Fullerton, and then we played. I think we played like George Washington.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
Yeah.
We played George Washington.
We lost to them.
We lost to George Washington overtime.
Yeah,
and then survived against Fullerton.
Yeah,
and then beat Arizona State. That was the 3 games.
Oh yeah, it was 3 games. I went to the first. Wait, I'm trying to remember the dates now. I went to like 2 of them, I think. I don't remember.
It's Thursday, November 28th, Friday, November 20th.
We lost to UCF before
Sunday, December 1st.
I saw that. So I was at the George Washington game, and then
you know what? You were probably at the first 2 because it went to a different
overtime.
gym.
We lost to George Washington
because the third one was in the Honda Center, so you probably didn't go to that.
No, I didn't go to that one. Yeah, it was at Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, so there were 2 games there.
That's so funny.
Man,
that was a rough year.
That's random. I'm actually trying to think. Did I ever go to a game before? I must have gone with my brother at some point. I don't know. We lived in Miami, so I might have. Like I remember my first football game was when I was like in middle school, because we're local. I'm trying to think how many I'm sure I went with my brother to a basketball game before. I was on campus, but I don't remember.
Vish, do you have an honorable mention?
I didn't have a list. I winged it. That was all from memory, man. That was all from memory.
Go.
Well, I wanted to look up have the actual dates and scores. But
yeah, that's true. I don't know any of the scores of the games I talked about.
See.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of the 2013 season was just like magic. There's a bunch from Reggie Johnson against NC State.
At NC State.
That game was like a heavyweight fight. I remember.
I fell over the coffee table.
I think that was the game because obviously I live here and I lived here then too. Actually, I just moved here a few years before that. That game was one they put on like regional television, and we got a different game here, so I had to watch on a bootleg like illegal internet stream, even though it was on CBS. I kept skipping.
I
But
remember
got
being
you.
so frustrated during that game because we played like shit. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's definitely one
And
that
then
sticks.
we couldn't do like tournament games, but our ACC conference tournament final win against UNC was a really fun game.
They came out on fire and dropped bombs on us.
Was
and we
it?
just-
What was the one?
Ground there.
The Elite Eight season.
What?
Was it against Boston College with like the full court pass from
Yeah,
Charlie
the buzzer
Moore to
beater.
Jordan Miller? That was awesome.
Without which, by the way, might not have made the tournament.
Yeah.
I won $100 that year because my mom's boyfriend's a USC grad, so we bet $100 on that first round game. So that was a good bet.
Yeah, there's a
won.
bunch.
Expecting us to make the Elite Eight, I was just happy to get past the first round and win $100. I never saw us getting, as we barely made the tournament. I never saw that coming in a million years.
No, that one. I thought Auburn was gonna just beat us. To be honest, I thought we could beat USC, but I didn't think we'd beat Auburn. We beat the shit out of them.
I wasn't worried about Auburn.
I was more worried about that Sweet 16 game because at that point we had never been to the Elite Eight before, and I was like, please. And then Nate text messaged me. He's like, oh my God. He's like, we're like, we deserve this. It's been so many years of like mediocrity. What happened? Oh, he's watching.
Go Luca.
So.
Sloppy with the ball, man. Luka.
Anything else before we move into our final segment?
Well, there's just I will say that's a testament to Coach L that we have won so many fun games in the time he's been here. Like, we're forgetting massive games that in a vacuum would have been like, that's the best game I've ever seen. But there's so many they've run together. Like, we've beat Duke and UNC so consistently.
That game,
it's unimaginable.
That game at Miami when Duke was ranked 1 and we blew them out was like the most insane experience being in that building that night and being in general admission. And like, I remember at halftime, we were up like 20 and I was just like, is this real? Like, are we going to blow this? Because that's what you expect, you know? That was so much. That's one of the most fun games, probably the most fun game I ever went to. And I've been to a lot of Canes basketball games, but that was just insane.
Yeah, no, but I mean, he's won. We've done like so much winning under him that, you know, it all runs together a little bit.
And we have one down year and people want to fire him. I just don't understand.
I mean, even the Lonnie Walker year, Matt, you mentioned the Louisville game. Remember the Virginia Tech game? He hit that shot at the end of the game to win it, the last regular season game.
It was like the step back one.
Yeah, there's so many like of these moments that, you know, for the before Coach L would have been like, wow, and they just run together. That's what he's done to the program.
Earlier that year, we had lost like FGCU, and I was like, what the hell? And then we just like went on a run of wins, and like all of a sudden we were like 4-0 in the ACC, 5-0.
Well, then FGCU was actually good too.
They made the tournament, yeah.
Well, they made a run. They made it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
But I just remember like we won the ACC tournament, and I was just like, oh my God, like we're gonna go far in the tournament. And then Shane Larkin got food poisoning. And then I was sad at Sports Grill. All right, Vish is gonna go watch the Mavs game.
Do you remember we almost won the NIT and they called a bullshit foul call on a jumper? At the
I
end of the
watched
game?
that game with the Rat. I watched the game with the Rat. I remember
We almost got hardware from a consolation tournament. And we were like, that's as good as we're ever going to get, man. We almost won a tournament. It's not the real one, but the most surreal, though, was like, because obviously, like, I changed planes and flew through Chicago to watch us play Kansas. And I fully expect us to lose by like 20. But I'm like, you know what? We're never going to make it this far. Obviously, I was wrong. But I was talking to my brother because we were all at a wedding together. And I'm like, look, we've never made this far in my lifetime. We're probably not going to again. I got to go. And then never did I expect to be winning at halftime. And I'm like,
against Kansas?
Yeah, like we're half away from doing this. Like, what is this? Then obviously
and then it was like
the bottom fell out, and I'm like, okay, that's more what I expected to happen in this game.
Us making the Final Four brought this together. The
Yeah.
Canes making the Final Four is the reason why this podcast exists.
It would still be
So-
me talking to camera by myself, and Matt,
Yeah.
if he sees me go live, be like, "Let me in."
If anybody's still
Comment.
watching this and is a football season ticket holder, the place to be is going to be the Green Lot this season. That's where Buckets will be tailgating. Shall we move into final thoughts?
Unless we got any more on this. Just
Let's
again,
do it.
shout out to Coach L. A lot of great memories.
Thank you, Coach.
So there was two things I was debating that I wanted to talk about, but I got into a heated debate the other day, and it was in regards to crumble cookies. If you like crumble cookies, I'm sorry that you have poor taste buds. Crumble cookies are fucking disgusting. They're overly sweet. They're literally made from like box cake mix. I mean, they're terrible. They have these weird artificial flavors. Not good, bad texture. Just god awful cookies that have like 1,000 calories in them. So I mean, if you're looking for like, trying to, eat exactly 2,000 calories, just eat 2 crumble cookies. I mean, you'll hate it, but yeah, no, crumble cookies are terrible. Anyone that thinks they're good, I am judging you. Melissa, go ahead.
Cue the Sox outro.
Don't cry.
We get buckets.
Keep it chill.
Yeah, baby.
Wear good socks.
Buckets.